everyone realized that wool was a brilliant product, that consumers had forgotten its benefits. When you were buying, say, clothes for your children, wool has the most excellent natural handling properties, a structure which allows it to absorb and release perspiration naturally. It is able to acclimatize to individual environments, which means never too hot or too cold. But we mustn't forget that one of the main benefits of wool is its impact on our environment. More and more people now want to know how they can leave a lighter footprint on the planet. So by choosing wool, you can do just that and benefit from the most superior product.
In Mongolia, wool is called white gold. Woolcraft has been handed down from generation to generation for thousands of years. The wool is carefully weighed so the exact amount is used for the specific production. The wool fibers should be put in one direction. This is done through a series of combing movements called carding. A handful of wool is put between the carding brushes and they are pulled in opposite directions, pulling fibers into line. This is repeated until all fibers in a pile are laid into one direction and the wool is lofty and airy. The wool is carded with a carding machine to form 4 wool strips, 2 for each boot. 2 layers of white and 2 layers of colored wool are then used to form an ellipse with the boot template inside. A template defines the size of the initial ellipse to achieve the correct size and desired thickness of the boots. Wool has an amazing characteristic, which insulates against heat, cold, and sound. The traditional Mongolian home called gur is made entirely from wool. Also, wool is commonly used in Mongolia for boots, clothing, and for household items such as bed mattresses, floors, and wall rugs. Mongolian weather can be extreme, with temperatures ranging from -40 to +104 degrees Fahrenheit. To thrive in this harsh environment, local sheep develop uniquely protective and breathable coats. There are 3 million Mongolian people and 7 times as many sheep in the country. You'll find Mongolian people wearing wool boots year-round, as they claim they keep their feet warm in winter and dry in summer. Friction movements with hot water and soap called padding force the strands of the hairs to lock together to create pressed wool. Padding lasts between 45 minutes to an hour, and traditional methods are followed which pad the wool in specific directions. This is the most important step because Mongolians believe padding should be done by hand and not machine. Using hands while processing ensures that the natural characteristics of the wool are maintained, and careful locking of the fibers produce smooth and luxurious wool. Another characteristic of wool is that when the wool is rubbed or worn enough times, the old layer sheds off and a new layer is brought to the surface, which helps boots remain fresh. Dead or unhealthy sheep fleece is never used in this process because the fibers will never lock to form wool. The workpiece is then kneaded for another 30 minutes to an hour until the piece shrinks to the desired size. Then it will be carefully rinsed to remove the soap. After rinsing, a boot tree of the desired size is put inside the wool and molded to ensure it acquires the form of the boot tree and becomes smooth with no wrinkles. Pellets formed during padding and kneading are shaved. The semi-finished product will be left to dry for 24 to 48 hours. After drying, the boot tree is removed and the sole and decorations are sewed onto the boots. A child's boot takes 2.5 hours of labor to produce. Dagva is 32 years old and father of 3 children. He has been making wool boots for 15 years. He took classes on how to make wool boots when he was 17 years old, after which he taught his mother and 3 brothers the art form. Now his wife and his 3 sisters-in-law make wool boots also. While his family is busy making these boots, his father drives all of his grandchildren to school. This family is one of the 250 families that make our wool boots. Our mission is to create casual and comfortable footwear using the traditional Mongolian techniques of processing wool. Mongolian sheep fleece produces a thick, hardy, and luxurious wool. Our wool boot is substantial enough to resist slouching and stands up to daily wear. The unique qualities of Mongolian wool give lasting comfort.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this and all it is trying to do to explain the benefits of this wonderful natural fiber. For far too long, it seems to me, we have been ignoring the fact that nature is capable of providing us with so much of what we need in order to live on this planet.
Are you one of us that's concerned about the health of our planet and impact on the environment? Then choose wool. Why wool? Wool is a protein fiber formed in the skin of sheep and 100% natural. Sheep are shorn once each year and their wool are renewable, which keeps growing back. After shearing, wool is washed and graded, made into lots of products we use every day, such as boots, clothing, carpet, blankets, bed mattresses, and more. Wool is not only a wonderful product, but gentle on the planet, grown as part of a natural system from sunshine, water, and grass. So wool is an eco-friendly natural fiber. Since the Stone Age, wool has been the most effective form of all-weather protection and natural insulator known to humans. For example, nomadic homes called a gur. Used in the home, wool insulation helps to reduce energy costs and prevent the loss of energy to the external environment, thus reducing carbon emissions. Wool is multi-climactic trans-seasonal, which constantly reacts to changes in temperature, whether in the atmosphere or from the body. Keeps not too warm and not too cold. That's why wool boots are warm in the winter and cool in summer. Wool has a large capacity to absorb moisture vapor next to the skin, making it extremely breathable. Wool fibers resist tearing and are naturally elastic, stretch comfortably, then are able to return to their natural shape, making them resistant to wrinkling and sagging. Wool dyes richly while remaining color fast without the use of chemicals. Wool is easy to care for because naturally protective waxy coating on wool fibers makes wool products resistant to staining, and they'll also pick up less dust as wool is naturally anti-static. Wool is naturally antimicrobial and does not promote the growth of bacteria, which makes it odor-free. Wool is also a safe solution because it's naturally flame retardant. It will not melt and stick to the skin, causing burns, and produces less noxious fumes that cause death in fire situations. Wool can meet most stringent safety rules without the need for additional chemical treatments. Also, wool has naturally high level of UV protection. At the end of its useful life, wool can be biodegradable and returned to the soil where it decomposes, releasing valuable nutrients into the ground. If more of us choose to use wool, it will help our world to be a better place for our children and future generations.